Fellow Toastmasters, this is Distinguished Toastmaster Junaid Zafar from District 122 Territorial Council, Pakistan. And I'm going to share with you today my learnings and takeaways from organizing a large online Toastmasters meeting. Now, recently, due to coronavirus outbreak, Toastmasters International allowed all clubs to conduct their meetings online and instructed that all district events, area contests, division contests, district contests must be conducted online and not in person. Now, this is a big change because as Toastmasters, we are used to conducting our meetings in person, and shifting them online seems like a big change, but that is the need of the hour. Many Toastmasters are facing problems because of this. Many of my clubs were facing problems. They had to cancel their meetings, postpone some big events, and all the executive committee members were a bit concerned of how they're going to overcome this new thing, how will technology help them, which software to use, and there were many other questions. I felt that pain and I thought that I have to do something about it. So I gathered my club presidents and we decided to hold a joint online Toastmasters meeting for all the clubs of Pakistan so that they can attend their first online meeting, be a part of it, and then take that learning to their own clubs. It was basically about overcoming the fear of something new to get them through their first online meeting so that they can continue with their meetings. Now, these are 10 suggestions that I have, 10 takeaways from my learning. The first one is that Toastmaster of meeting should have some people to help him and assist him in his role. It could be Sergeant at Arms, it could be any other person by any other name. Now, you know that Toastmasters meeting is an overwhelming role because you have to take care of a number of things. There's a lot of planning and changes happening on the go. When you take your meeting online, some additional aspects get added to it. For example, there's a chat happening on the side. People might be asking some questions, people might have some problems, and there needs to be a person who is looking through all of that. And if the Toastmaster meeting is doing that, then it's a bit overwhelming. Similarly, in a large meeting, it is very difficult to keep track of who is in a meeting and who has temporarily gone out, who is facing some technical problem. So imagine, as Toastmaster of a meeting, you invite a person to speak and then you don't hear anything from them because for some reason they have gone offline. My second learning was that I had 4 prepared speeches. 2 of them were delivered live, while 2 were the recordings that were being played. Those persons were in the meeting, but they had shared their videos recorded. Now, the recorded video problem is that although one of them was played live from YouTube, the other I had downloaded and I played them, and both of them I shared my screen. The problem is that although I enjoyed those speeches, everyone could not because there was a lag in the video and the kind of experience that people got for those speeches was not up to the mark. Now, I'm not sure what the solution is. Maybe we can upload the videos on YouTube and share the links with the people and tell them that this is the link and go and see those videos and come back. Maybe we can share those videos in advance on WhatsApp or other mode so that people can enjoy those videos and have their evaluations online. But in any case, I don't feel that the experience will be same if people get to leave that meeting or don't see that video live or that speech live. My personal feeling is that live videos, live speeches will be the best. If you have any other suggestions, please tell me because I would like to learn about that. My third suggestion is that involve as many people in the meeting as you can. This holds true for any Toastmasters meeting. You will want to involve as many people in it, but for an online meeting, it's even more necessary because people are not sitting in the room. They are sitting in their homes or their cars or anywhere and attending your online meeting, and you need to involve as many of them in the meeting so that they don't lag. What I did was I had the role of introducer. So for every speaker, there was a person who was going to give them a personalized introduction. That meant more people involved in that online meeting and more people interested in that meeting. It wasn't just the Toastmaster meeting myself all the time. There were many people who were playing their roles and taking their share of screen space. The fourth big suggestion is break those geographical boundaries. In a regular in-person meeting, Toastmasters meeting, you can only have people from within your vicinity, and if you have to invite someone from outside, it's a big deal because they have to travel, they have to manage their time. But for an online meeting, it's a huge advantage. All they need is to manage their time. They don't need to fly in, they don't need to make any expenditure, and you can have many people attending your meeting from outside your usual geographical boundaries. So in my meeting, I not only had people from all across the country, but also people from outside our country. We had people and Toastmasters joining in us from India, from Malaysia, from Kuwait, from Bahrain, from the Saudi Arabia, from the United States of America. And it was amazing because it was a good cultural mix. People from different cultures, different backgrounds, different clubs were able to come together, share their own learning, learn about our culture. And the topics and the speakers, they also understood that. So their speeches and topics were not about local problems, but about bigger geographical things. And we could share our culture with them and develop bonds in a Toastmasters meeting that would otherwise have not been possible. So break those geographical barriers. And my next suggestion is also related to it. Go online. Share your videos online. Now, many of my clubs used to share their videos of in-person meeting online, but the experience was very different. In my event, in the event that I conducted, I not only had people from all across the country and outside attending the meeting through Zoom, but I had around 250 people view our video online on Facebook. And I was amazed, and I later got to understand why, because the kind of experience of viewing a video online was very similar to that attending that meeting online, because the view that they were getting was same to that view that I was getting as Toastmaster of the meeting. They could see all the participants, their expressions, and it wasn't just looking at the stage. So the kind of experience was very different, and that is why many people could enjoy our meeting on social media without logging into Zoom to attend that meeting. This means that you can reach out to many more people and invite them or show them what a meeting looks like, and maybe next time they would attend your meeting online by logging into Zoom. So do explore this opportunity of giving out your videos, going for a live stream on social media, because it's amazing. My sixth suggestion is a fun suggestion. In Zoom, I was using Zoom. In Zoom, you have this option to use virtual backgrounds, and many people use that, but I did something else. I used that space to display some messages. So I had the branding of Toastmasters. Along with that, I had my name and my role, Toastmasters meeting, and I also used that space to brand the event. I had the event name, and since it was about the Toastmasters clubs in Pakistan, I had the Pakistan flag on my background. So you can use that space creatively to send a message. Maybe the grammarian can use that space to write the word of the day, the usage and everything, and you can use that to display many messages, something that you believe in, the theme of the meeting, or anything about that. So use the virtual background, as it's a great opportunity. My seventh suggestion and learning is about table topics session. Now, in a table topic session, you can invite anyone to speak on a topic, but imagine if you call someone and they either cannot speak because of some technical problems, or since they are in their homes, maybe they have their kids sleeping with them, they can't speak. So it will be really embarrassing, and it will reduce the quality of your online meeting if you ask a person and that person is for any reason unable to speak. What we did was that in that meeting, we asked everyone who is interested in participating to raise their hand. They could either raise their hand physically, or they could use that button on Zoom where they can raise hand. So we knew who are the people who are ready and willing, both technically and mentally, to speak on a topic. So whoever was asked to speak on a table topic session was ready, and they delivered amazing speeches. My eighth takeaway: people's response, audience's response. In any Toastmasters meeting or in-person large event, the best thing is that you tell a joke and people laugh at it, or people applaud at the speaker. You tend to miss that in an online meeting, but you can get the second best alternative, which is you can get people to use jazz hands to show that they are applauding for the speaker. And as Toastmasters meeting, you also need to start that. So for every speaker, I used to do this and everyone was doing this. And when on the screen of Zoom you see 25 or 49 people doing this, there's a lot of energy and excitement happening there, and it's almost similar to people applauding. My ninth takeaway is something that everyone was asking online in all of the forums and all the meetings that I attended previously. How do you get to know about the timer, the timer's lights or the cards? How will you get to know? Well, we used the colored virtual backgrounds, green background, yellow background, red background, to display that what's the time, and it worked really fine. I asked all the speakers to pin that timer's window so that they don't miss it, but it worked really fine and no one went abroad, so you can use that virtual background. My 10th takeaway is about vote counter. Now, Zoom has that option of poll, but when we were doing a dry run, we were testing, it just wasn't working fine, because sometimes not everyone would receive that poll and other times we would not receive all the responses. And the problem is that you can't change the options while you're in a meeting. You can only set the options before the start of the meeting, so it doesn't work for table topic session. What we did was we asked all the participants to send their votes in a private message to the vote counter in the chat. Now, it might have been quite overwhelming for the vote counter because there were a number of comments coming to that person, but I guess it's quite similar to those small chits that they have to read. So it's not the easiest and the best, but it works fine. In a large meeting, if you have any other option, people can either WhatsApp or use some software on the mobile or otherwise, but that would mean people would have to leave the screen, and you don't want that in an online meeting. So it works kind of fine. If you have any other better alternative, do let me know. So these were my 10 takeaways, my 10 suggestions, my 10 learnings about conducting a large-scale online meeting. Go ahead, conduct your online meetings, and you can experiment with your own things, use the learnings, my learnings, and you can give me some feedback. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have any better suggestions, please give them to me, because I too am learning like you. We are in this together and we need to explore this opportunity, get the best benefit out of it, and be a better person. And in this difficult times, we need to remain connected, need to remain strong, and use this opportunity of breaking these geographical barriers. So attend a meeting online, across the borders, across the continents, across the world. Attend a meeting of a Toastmasters club in Pakistan, and I will be there to welcome you. This is Distinguished Toastmaster Junaid Zafar from Pakistan. Take care. Goodbye.